If you don't truly understand the pneumatic system of the Learjet 45, you don't truly understand pressurization, anti-ice, pack operation, bleed air leaks, or emergency pressurization. And this chapter is one that examiners love to explore during the oral. Today we are not memorizing, we are understanding the logic. By the end of this lesson, you will clearly understand L, P and HP bleed logic. When the HP SOV opens, how the pack Bi-Level PRSOV works. When emergency pressurization activates automatically, what happens during a total electrical failure, and what closes, what remains open, and why. Let's begin. 1. System overview. How the air flows. The pneumatic system supplies bleed air for cabin pressurization, air conditioning, wing and stabilizer, anti-ice, nacelle, anti-ice, servo air, hydraulic reservoir pressurization. Bleed air can come from either engine, LP or HP stages, the APU, ground operation, LR45 only. Oral question. Where do the engine bleed ducts join? They converge in the tail cone area before entering the environmental control unit. 2. Low pressure bleed. Normal operation. Low pressure bleed air is extracted from the low pressure compressor stage. In normal operation, LP bleed supplies pressurization. HP bleed is used only when necessary. Check valves prevent reverse flow, cross-engine backflow. Classic oral question. Can one engine alone supply all pneumatic needs? Yes. A single engine can supply all normal pneumatic requirements. 3. High pressure bleed. Automatic assist. High pressure bleed is extracted from the high pressure compressor stage. It is automatically commanded on when LP pressure is insufficient, thrust lever angle is low, aircraft altitude increases. The ECS controller makes this decision using 105 pounds per square inch duct pressure switch, thrust lever angle, altitude schedule. Important oral question. Is the HP SOV powered to open or powered to close? Powered to open. If electrical power is lost, it closes. This will matter later. 4. Pack Bi-Level PRSOV. The pack Bi-Level pressure regulating shut-off valve. Regulates pressure to 18 pounds per square inch, is depowered open, is powered to close. Meaning, in case of electrical failure, it remains open. HI flow. Increases pressure up to 26 pounds per square inch. Displays white pack. HI flow. CAS. Requires 28 volts. DC oral. Question. If the pack control loses electrical power, does the pack close? Number. It remains open in the normal 18 pounds per square inch position. HI flow is disabled. Fail-safe logic. 5. Bleed leak and overheat detection. Temperature sensors monitor. 250 degrees Fahrenheit, engine pylon overheat. 255 degrees Fahrenheit, tail cone bleed leak. 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Duct overheat, possible CAS messages. ENG pylon, OVHT, bleed air leak, bleed OVHT oral. Question. What happens to the APU if a bleed air leak is detected? The APU automatically shuts down. Many pilots forget this. 6. Emergency pressurization, the critical part. This is the most examined portion, when emergency pressurization is activated. ECS PRSOV closes, HP SOV closes, emergency press valve opens, LP bleed air is routed directly to the cabin, the ECU is bypassed, temperature control is lost, the cabin may receive hot air. Oral question. Does emergency pressurization use LP or HP bleed? LP bleed only. 7. Automatic activation. Logic normally activates at 9,500 feet cabin altitude. However, activation may be delayed to 14,500 feet if ZPC is in alto. Landing altitude set above 8,000 feet. Aircraft below flight level 245. Aircraft has initiated descent of at least 1,000 feet. This is a favourite oral question. 8. Returning from emergency pressurization to return to normal pressurization. When cabin altitude drops below 8,000 feet, select EMA press off. Do not cycle bleed switches. Do not cycle packs. This shows system understanding. 9. Total electrical failure. Critical oral question. What happens to pressurization during total electrical failure in flight? HP SOV closes. ECS PRSOV remains open, depowered open. Pack remains open. Temperature control is lost. Pressurization continues via LP bleed. Total electrical failure does not mean immediate depressurization. That answer impresses examiners. 10. Anti-ice interaction. Wing and stabilizer anti-ice remains available as long as at least one bleed switch is on. If both bleed switches are off, you lose. Normal pressurization, emergency pressurization, wing/stab anti-ice. This is another exam question. Closing the Learjet 45 pneumatic system is not complicated, it is logical. If you understand, powered to open depowered open LP normal supply HP assist logic ECU bypass in emergency press electrical failure behavior. You master this system. Here we do not memorize checklists. We understand aircraft, study deeply, fly professionally, fly with excellence, fly safe,